Being financially free in 2021. Hmm. COVID Christmas 2020. And why there should be no 2020 slander. You have tuned into the Teacher Says podcast. Thanks. All right, we are back. You have found yourself in the right place. This is the Teacher Says podcast. I am your host, Sess. Make sure right now that you hit that subscribe button, and additionally, you leave a 5-star review on your favorite podcatcher. I have worked long and hard to make sure that I am available everywhere. Ooh, that sounds slutty, but it is true. I have worked hard to make sure I am on all platforms. I got some things straightened out with Spotify, so you can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. Um, what's the one? The Audible, like everywhere. So make sure wherever you're located, you listen, you subscribe, you check in. So speaking of checking in, I'm checking in this December 2020. This is my first episode of the month, and it's I was going to say almost that. That's a lie. It's beyond the halfway point. So where have I been? What have I been up to? A lot. I have gotten super swamped at work. Therefore, I've been negligent in recording, uploading, editing, and all that I do to get this show in your ears. So forgive me for that. But I do come with some topics that we can discuss to get us in the right frame of mind for 2021. And my favorite time of year, although I don't really like December because to me it's the beginning of the cold weather season where I am. Don't like cold weather. And getting us in the holiday mood. So let's go ahead and start off with a book recommendation that I have discovered. And it's not so much I discovered it, but it was recommended to me. And I have not finished the text yet, although I have already discovered some gems in this book that I highly suggest that you read as well. The name of the book is called Money Master the Game. 7 Simple Steps to Financial Freedom by Tony Robbins. If you're not familiar with Tony Robbins, he is a motivational speaker. He kind of has like a gravelly voice. You've probably seen him before. He appears to be pretty tall. I don't know exactly how tall he is. But his book has already given me a couple of gems that I've taken with me trying to decipher the financial game. The year 2021, I definitely want to get my financial house way in order. And I am not a follower of just one guru or influencer or whatever you want to call those financial analysts that everybody seems to know or maybe not know. And that's probably my issue. I did not know them until recently. So, I've spoken before about following Dave Ramsey's plan. And now I'm kind of looking and seeing what Tony Robbins has to offer. I definitely don't stick to just one person, which, according to Dave Ramsey's plan, that's a bad idea because you should only follow him and no one else, according to him. But I don't roll that way. There's a couple things about Dave Ramsey I really don't care for. So therefore, I take elements of everyone. In fact, just today, I was doing my debt snowball analysis for 2021, trying to see which bills can be paid off for this year, which ones might take a little longer, so I'm working on that. If you're not familiar with debt snowball, I'm sure you can Google it, but I'll tell you. It's basically, and I can't say that Dave Ramsey discovered this. I don't know where he found it, but he's the one who made it popular. You put all your debt. I think he says you can exclude the mortgage, but I put the mortgage there just because I like to do it my way. and put it in order from highest debt to lowest, and also the APR, which stands for annual percentage rate, goes with that, and the balance, and you work your way down. Now, according to Mr. Ramsey, it's basically you're on a budget of beans and rice, and you have gazelle-like intensity, and you have to get several jobs. You're working yourself sick until you pay off your debt. That's good for him. But being that I have other obligations like a full time job, I do what I can. I don't quite take it to the intensity that Dave Ramsey wants you to do, but I do work more than one job. That is why I'm not always um, putting up new episodes of the Teacher Says podcast. But like I said, going back into what Dave Ramsey is suggesting, that part regarding that snowball, I agree with. What I'm a little about is I listen to his podcast pretty regularly. I don't listen every day. There is a lot of advice that he gives that leaves me shaking my head in disbelief, just on unique gazelle-like intensity and this and that. Just some of his thinking to me is a little old school. Um, you know, like I don't know. I feel like I'm not super liberal. I'm pretty liberal, I guess. Some of the stuff that he says, I just like, we're not in 1958, regarding women working. And, when they come and ask questions, I will say he doesn't just say women shouldn't work or anything like that. But it's a lot of old school thinking, in my opinion. When a woman called, like, should I take time off and from my career? This was just like a couple days ago. This woman called, and she was saying she was making over $100,000 a year, but she wants to go home and help raise her kids. And I'm like, and he was like, yeah, do it now because you will never get those years back. So if that's the kind of thing that you're into, by all means. Hey. But for me, myself, personally, nah, I'm very career minded. So taking time, this COVID situation is the first time I've been working with kids in the house and all that good stuff. And I think I've said this several times before, but I don't like it. I like working outside my home, or truthfully, I wouldn't mind working in my home if my kids were attending school in a building that wasn't my home. But being that we're all under the same roof, I'm not really feeling this. So, like I said, going back into Tony Robbins, I'm reading Money Master the Game, 7 Simple Steps to Financial Freedom. And one of the gems that he's already dropped was doing a portfolio analysis with all your investments, because what I have failed to realize, or I won't say that, I just never stopped and thought about it, is if you're dealing with like a someone who handles your portfolio, like a analyst or someone from a company, they're getting paid as well, and they're getting paid off of you. Again, I don't know, I never put one and one together, so I was like, oh, snap, they sure are. So what the portfolio analysis checkup, and I'll leave the website in the show notes, but it's portfoliocheckup.com. They allow you to list all your financial portfolio, what word am I looking for? Your accounts, I guess, like a 401k, and if you have like a Roth IRA and all that stuff. And you can see how much you are paying people to manage your portfolio, which again, I never thought about that. Am I at the stage where I feel like I could totally manage everything on my own? Not really, not yet. That's kind of the end goal, but I'm not there now. So I thought that was pretty like a hot take on mastering what regarding your money. We'll talk about it, I guess, in the next episode. Some financial changes that I plan on making to, better my position in life and do that. So there's that. What are you doing with your finances? I would love for you to let me know on one of my social media platforms, whether IG or Facebook, definitely bring that up into the conversation. All right, so we're back. This year, this COVID Christmas 2020 is definitely a very different Christmas. I've seen Santa, pictures of Santa in quarantine with the Santa mask. Interesting. I'm glad my kids never gravitated towards Santa. That was never their thing. They're not, the first couple times we tried, they cried. After that, I'm just like, forget it. So that's one less thing I need to do. Christmas shopping, I have gone. You know what it is? I've discovered to go further out so I won't have to deal with crowds. And going further out, I've discovered oftentimes the shopping selections are better. And I'm not talking about going into more prosperous neighborhoods. That's the way you want to phrase it. I'm actually saying going into more rural areas. Like I drove further out to go to Walmart this past weekend, and I was pretty impressed with a Saturday at 3 o'clock how it was crowded, but it wasn't ridiculous, and I appreciate that. Like the Walmart I normally go to, it's right off the highway that leads into a very very major city, and it's the first super Walmart from that city, so it's always a bunch of people on the weekend. It's crazy. So it's nice to see it's a little bit more less intense the further out you go. So I'm like, okay, so I did my Christmas shopping. It wasn't too bad. I like to say I'm finished. I did a lot of online shopping, as I'm sure you have with this COVID situation. Still waiting for a couple more packages. I did some shopping on Etsy, which I actually really like Etsy, but I find it to be a little on the higher side, high price. But I guess it's because you're dealing with like a small business and individuals and all that great stuff. So I'm waiting on one more package for Etsy, and I've been following Etsy on my Robinhood, which is a stock app. They're doing quite well. So I'm like, yeah, that's pretty impressive. But I tend to think it's because it's the holiday season. And speaking of stocks, I saw that Airbnb had what was the other one? Airbnb and DoorDash. This December had their initial IPO, which I had to Google that. You know how people just, oh yeah, the IPO, the IPO. I'm like, oh, smiling. Okay. I had no idea what IPO stood for. It's initial public offering. Again, I'm learning. So yeah, I was like, oh, okay, December, exciting, cool. So I was watching their stock. I have not invested in them yet because I want them to go lower. But the other company I'm keeping my eye on is Roblox because I know that's super popular with the younger set. I just looked it up to see when Roblox would be available, and it's not until possibly, they said from what I read, just 2021. I'm assuming that means January, but again, that's an assumption on my part. I do not know for certain when Roblox will be offered to the public. But something tells me as long as it's not ridiculously priced, it might be a good little buy for now. I don't know long term how they'll do. But for now, I feel like it might be okay. But again, like I said, it has not been confirmed as of today when they are going to have their IPO. And I just want to say IPO a lot because it makes me feel so brainy. Going back into the COVID Christmas, what was the other topic? Oh, this kind of pertains to what I mentioned previously regarding Money Masters Who Gain 7 Simple Steps to Financial Freedom. Although I am on Audible as far as my podcast is concerned, I do not have a subscription. My subscription to Audible kind of comes and goes. It's a good resource, I'm not going to lie. My issue is, cutting down my debt snowball. I really don't want any more debt, especially something where I realize I can get many of the Audible books for free. And I actually had the app, had it for years and totally forgot about it. And you can get it for free through your public library. I don't know why I didn't put one and one together, just like mentioned previously, and realize that you can check out audiobooks via your public library. The app that I use to do that, it's called Libby, Libby, And all you need beforehand is a library card, so you can put in your library card number in the app, and it releases, what is available at your public library. And I was really lucky because I wanted to read Money Master the Game, Seven Simple Steps to Financial Freedom. I think, if I haven't mentioned it before, I have actually not opened a book to read since probably I don't know, it's been a while. I am the queen of audiobooks because, I just don't have the time to stop and actually read a book that you have to open. So I realized, oh, snap, let me see if it's on, Libby. Let me see if I can find this book, via my public library. Being that public libraries here are closed, you have to use your resources. And lo and behold, I found it. I was like, great, because of course, I see it on Audible. Audible has everything, everything. But like I said, the price is gone. I don't even know what they're charging at this time, and it varies, which annoys me. Like I got an email saying it was going to be $13.99 to $9.99. And at one point, it got very, very cheap. Maybe it was like $4 or $5, and I got it then for a month or two. No, I did the 30 days free. Then I dropped the subscription. So at any rate, it's something you can keep in mind when it comes to reading. If you're an audiobook fan like myself, or maybe you read in your Kindle, or maybe you print out 400 pages in a PDF. I don't know. But Libby is a great resource that connects your public library to you. So going back to COVID Christmas, I'm definitely ready. My Christmas tree, my decor. It's the only time of year where I actually decorate. All the makings of Christmas. And it's coming pretty soon because I'm looking at the day. I'm recording this approximately, probably 8 days before Christmas. So I'm just waiting for the actual day. One of my children has signed up for a class on out school baking cookies, and I'm like, great, because if you know me, I don't like keeping a bunch of sweets in my house because I have a huge sweet tooth. We kind of came to a conclusion with that, where we make the recipe, cut the cookie dough in half, and freeze the other half so we can make it some other time. So yeah, there's that. So that's how we're covering COVID Christmas 2020 in my house. What are you doing? I would love to hear about it. So send me a message and share on my social media platform. Let's move on. All right, so we're back, and you know what? I'm a little tired of hearing, though I understand why. Is all the slander for the year 2020. It's the worst year ever, etc., etc. Now, I can totally understand that if you lost someone close to you, if you contracted COVID, and all the other stuff, or you lost your job. But if nothing's happened to you and you're still standing in a position that's just as good as January 1st, or even better, why do you have the audacity to slander 2020? Like, nothing really bad happened to you. Like, this year has been a butt kicker for me. But I don't like to judge the year until we're done with it. But thus far, I can't say it's. No, I can understand why someone would say it's the worst year ever, but you're still standing. You're doing good. And that had me thinking because, and I hate saying this so casually, I'm on Clubhouse. But I'm lucky. I'm really lucky enough to have the opportunity to be on Clubhouse at the moment. If you are not familiar with Clubhouse, it's a new, stretching my foot out, new app in the beta testing mode that, as of now, is invite only, and I'm really, really loving it. Like, it's kind of like a live action podcast with various rooms and hallways. I don't know. I wish, the only thing is I'm not a fan of. Let's put it. No, I shouldn't say it like that. My hallway, I wish had more versatility. Like, it's very. I don't know. But I'm finding a lot of cool um, discussions taking place. A lot of capping, which I still don't quite get what that means. Like, some of the rooms I don't really want to go in, but I'm going into because I see like there's a name that's familiar, which is 90% of the time just some rapper I've heard of that I don't know their music. And you go in there, it's like 900 people in there, many pick-me's, like pick-me type chicks, where I'm like, what? And I stay in there for literally a minute, and I'm like, I need something educational. I'm out. Let me leave quietly. At least that's what it says on Clubhouse. So, like I said, I'm really liking Clubhouse, but it's another thing that kind of, at least for me, I need to give a lot of attention to when I'm doing it. Well, let's put it this way: if I feel like I want to participate in Clubhouse or in the room, then yes, I need to give it my attention. If I'm just being an active listener, I can go about my life, my business, and do my thing. So I don't know. And no, I don't have any invites. That's another reason I'm not really liking to tell people about Clubhouse, that I'm on Clubhouse, until it opens up for everybody, because you had to be invited, and I already gave out my invite. So now people are like, "Oh, do you have an invite?" I'm like, no, not really. No. So yeah, there's that. All right, so this has probably been a pretty short episode, short, sweet, to the point. So I honestly do not know if I will be back again before the end of the year. Hopefully I will, but honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, probably not. I know we're pretty busy. So I'm wishing you an intentional 2021. I want you to start thinking about, what do you plan on doing differently so that you can live a different type of life. I'll catch you next time on the other side of 2021, and enjoy these next couple weeks.